Welcome back, my Flower Garden Escape channel. I'm happy to have you guys here. So today is going to be a little different. We are actually going to be doing a full-on journey of hatching baby chicks. So recently we had dogs get into our chicken pen, so we now have to hatch new chicks to replace the hens that they did kill. They did kill a little over 5 chickens, so we are going to have to hatch some new ones to replenish those chickens so we can keep the eggs coming like we usually have been. So come along with me on this journey. Before we get started into everything, don't forget to hit the like down below, don't forget to hit the subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of our new videos. And don't forget to leave us a comment. We always love hearing from you guys. But before we get started in this full on impact journey, I'm going to quickly show you some clips from our winter storm that we had. It was pretty neat, especially since we're in Florida. We really don't get snow or sleet or anything like that, so it was very interesting. So enjoy these next few clips and then let's get into the incubating.
You see one dog here. Please excuse any bad language as I was speared for my chickens. My middle daughter, screaming in terror of seeing the dogs attack our chickens.
Broke your heart, huh? You knew I was a fuck nigga from the start, huh? You should've listened when they said I was a dog, huh? You should've listened to your head when you had thoughts, huh? That's what you thought, huh? I left you scarred, huh? You'll never be the same again, put that on guard, huh? I took your heart and then I tore that shit apart, huh? I fucked you over, did you dirty, did you wrong, huh? I did you wrong, huh? I did you wrong, yeah. You say you hate me, but I know that this your song, yeah. Angry Texas, we don't never get along, yeah. We've been rocking with each other for so long, yeah. Maybe that's why it's been harder to move on, yeah. And you changed too. And your mama and your friends, they gonna blame too. And you hate it when somebody say my name, ooh. Every time you hear my name, you wanna drink, ooh. You wanna go out, you wanna get drunk, you wanna get lit. You wanna get crazy, do everything that you never did. You wanna get back, you wanna revenge, you wanna get dick. But you ain't about
So as you guys can see, we have a total of 22 eggs in here incubating. There is 2 slots here. This is part A and this is part B. As you can see here, the temperature is at 99.5 and we have the humidity at 54. The idea for the eggs is, and we have our ventilation opened halfway. You want your humidity between 45 and 55% for the first quite a few days, up until 3 days prior before they really start to hatch. You are going to want your humidity up high, up to 75%. The temperature will stay at 99.5 99 or 99.5 Fahrenheit in the incubator. Up until day 3, we only fill up this A slot right here, and then on day 3, once we get closer, we fill up both slots to raise the humidity up. Now with that, we will also open up this ventilation all the way just like this, And we currently just need it open just a quarter of the way, so that way it holds in the humidity as you want it a little bit between that 45 and 55%. Now, with with the incubator, we are going to go over the next few days and watch these eggs incubate. We are even going to be doing some candling to see how the eggs are doing. We have to wait until it gets dark time to really show how well the eggs are doing. And we'll kind of show you guys that later on. I'll quickly show you what day we're on now currently. So if I push this button, it's going to show us the days. I have set this to 22 days because sometimes they do take an extra day. Normally it's 21 days. So we're on day 20. The incubator does automatically rotate the eggs. All the pointy tops of the eggs face towards the center, so that way they can rotate right. Now, the candling will be at the top. This light comes on and we just put the egg on top and we're able to see into the egg. It's very similar to pretty much like an ultrasound that us moms get when we are pregnant. It'll be similar to that, but we're going to be going over the next 20 days on how these baby chicks grow, and hopefully with camera being positioned right and on, we'll be able to see the chicks hatch and you guys will be able to see it on video. So let's go. So here you are going to see we are on day 19. It is at 51%. The eggs are doing pretty well at this time. Humidity is still really good. As you guys remember, we want it between 45 and 55. Ventilation is still looking really good. You don't want it fully open. My little one apparently messed with this. Water is still full, so we don't need to worry about refilling it back up. That's going to help keep that humidity up. We're going to test the egg turner, make sure it's still turning perfectly. And let's see. There we are. Looks good. Perfect. Okay, so it is time to do a little bit of candling. This is where we are going to check inside the eggs to see how the eggs are incubating, to see if we got some fertilization. This first egg is going to be different, as it's going to be like a bluish greenish looking egg. It's from a Americana, which is an Eastern egger. It's a little bit hard to tell as it is a little bit darker. As you guys can see, you can't really see inside it too well. So hopefully further along we'll be able to see a little bit more inside it. We are going to look at several different eggs to see the difference in them. Everything is still right with the humidity and the temperatures. We're going to go ahead and swap this egg out with another. Remember, keep your pointy tops to the center so that way they turn correctly and they don't have any issues. I'm going to pull out another Americana egg just to see, because this is the first time we're incubating Americana eggs. As you guys can see the color there. Still the same thing. Still can't really see much. It's kind of hard to tell because of the color of the egg. As you guys can see, I'm having to just get closer into it. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take another look at another egg. The next one I'm going to pick here is going to be from one of our white-legged chickens. As you guys can see, the white eggs do show up a lot better. Now, as you guys can see, that dark spot right there is going to be the baby chick. Now, if you look very closely there, that is going to be the veins of the baby chick. So you can definitely tell that the baby chick is forming here. They're doing pretty well for the most part. As you guys can see, it's in the center of the egg. They appear to be growing very well. I'm going to bring you guys in closer so you can get a lot better of a look. As you guys can see the baby chick forming there, along with some of the veins that are showing inside the egg. We're going to go ahead and take this one off, and we're going to go ahead and bring out another one. Let's see, which one do I want to grab? Let's go with a little bit darker colored egg. This one's little bit of a lighter brown colored egg. I'm just going to set this on here. As you guys can see, it's a little bit different. You're going to look for that dark colored spot, which you can kind of see right there in the center of that egg as it's going around. as that's where the darker pieces are. This is where it gets a little tricky to where you can't really see the veins, but you can see the baby chick forming in that center section there. It's really interesting to watch these kind of eggs grow and incubate them, especially doing this canneling, as you can watch them grow inside the egg. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put this one back. Remember, pointy tops to the center. Get another one. This is going to be the same color, a dark brown colored egg. As you guys can see, there's a little bit of a baby chick forming in there. You can kind of see some of the veins if you look carefully enough. I'm trying to be careful not to lift the egg. As you can see, the babies do appear to be floating here from the bottoms. Alright, we're going to put this one back in, grab out another one. This is going to be another Americana egg. I just want to check, the Americana is very good, just to see what we're looking at, see if I can see anything really. You can see with this one, it's very dark up at the top, so this could be where the baby chick is forming at the top there. As you can see, when I rotate it, it's not really moving, so the baby's just sitting up there at the top. I'm going to go ahead and put this one back. One of the dogs did kill one of our Americanas, and her name was Beardy, so I'm really hoping those incubate. The next one I'm going to pull out here is going to be another brownish egg. As you guys can see, it is just not sure. I mean, I can see some where it's forming, but it's not, I'm just not really sure. But you can see the dark layers here, but I'm not really seeing the veins too much. When you see it in person, it's a lot better, easier to tell. We're going to go ahead and grab another creamy egg, colored egg here, and see if we can see anything. These are so tricky because it's so hard to notice, especially with these dark areas. So with this one, for example, it's so hard to tell, especially with those dark spots. I really want to say that's going to be where the baby chick's at, but I don't know. We won't know until we come further into the incubation and we come further on in the incubating. All right, everybody, so here we are. We are actually currently on day 17 of the incubator hatch. Now today we're just checking on them, making sure everything's right where it should be. So let's go check. So here it is, 99.5, a little high, but that will drop over time. It is day 17. Humidity is a little high, so we are going to open this up a little bit more, so that way more of the humidity comes out. Everything looks good. We do still have some water in here. I'm going to add a little bit more water into the part A. Now remember guys, up until day 3, that's when we put it in both, so we can set the humidity higher. We're going to do a test run, make sure everything's still running smoothly. Perfect. All right. Now this will automatically turn the eggs exactly when they need to be turned, so that way I don't have to worry about turning them. So let's go ahead and get the water. Alright, there we go. Now, I accidentally did get a little bit in part B, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. It did drop a little bit with me adding the water in there. So as you can see, it's at 54% now. With humidity, you want your incubator to stay between 45 and 55% humidity. Need to be careful. Anything lower or higher could really hurt the eggs. So we're going to keep it around that temperature, and I'm going to close this back up because it is dropping drastically now. So one thing you definitely do want to do is you want to monitor the incubator. You're going to want to check on it periodically. If you're incubating eggs, it's going to be something you're going to have to do on a daily throughout the day, and it's going to be something you're going to need to do. Thankfully, it's only for 21 to 22 days. Sometimes it does take the full 22 days, depending on the baby chicks. But that is pretty much going to wrap up the first portion of our incubator session with these eggs. We are going to come back in, we're on day 17, so I would say we're going to come back in 7 days, do another ultrasound. So we will see you guys in a week.
Meanwhile, really only 7 days later, how much could have changed? We give it a few more days.
Alright, so as you guys can see here, we are at 7 days. Humidity is a little bit higher than we need it to be. We're going to go ahead and do an ultrasound over the eggs, see how the eggs are growing. So let's go ahead and get this candling light on. I'm going to go ahead and get one of these eggs out, and we are going to take a look. So the first one is a white egg. As you guys can see, it's very dark. Oh, I'm sorry, not a white egg, Americana egg. It's very dark. You can see the clearness at the bottom. That's where the ookie stuff is. And then the baby chick is more around at the top. As you can see, the darker compared to the lighter section there, as you can't really see inside the egg here. We're going to go ahead and put this one back. We're going to go ahead and grab a different egg this time. Let's see. So another Americana egg. Once again, you guys can see it's very dark. You can't really see inside. As you guys can see, it looks a lot lighter at the bottom compared to the top part, which is probably due to the baby chick growing inside. But we're going to go ahead and grab another egg from inside the incubator and see what we have here. Alright, so this is a white egg, as you guys can see. Now, these darker portions, as you guys can see here, are going to be the baby chick. The lighter areas is where the baby chick just hasn't grown yet. So, as you can see, there's veins in here. It's definitely got some growth to it. We'll just have to wait the additional days to see how well it does grow. But it does appear here we do have a baby. Alright, moving on to the next egg. Alright, another egg we have here. This is going to be a little bit different from the one we just looked at. As you guys can see, the lighter portion at the bottom, and then we got the darker portion up top. The darker portions is pretty much where the babies sit at. Here where my finger is going to be where a lot of the veins are. It's going to be hard to see these veins just due to the camera, and we would have to be extremely close up for you to be able to see it through the camera. On our next egg here is going to be kind of the similar thing. You get to see that darker portion. This is going to be where the baby is sitting currently, and then as you can see, the lighter portions on the side, which is where a lot of the veins are appearing to show. Once again, you can't see these on camera just due to how small these veins are, and you'd have to be extremely up close to see them. We're going to go ahead and get another egg out here. This is going to be more of a beige color egg. As you guys can see with these colored eggs, it's lighter at the bottom and a little bit more darker up at the top. It's really hard to tell with these, but you can see where these veins are. A little bit, but you can definitely see something's growing in there as the lighter portions at the bottom, and this darker portion up here is a little bit darker than down here. So we know something is forming inside this egg. It's just hard to tell exactly if it's going to be full development or not. We're going to go ahead and pull another egg out, and this is going to be, I believe this is another white egg here. Yep, another white egg. It's so hard to tell with all that dirt on it and that. As you guys can see, the yolk is definitely lighter at the bottom. My concern is this dark portion, how small this dark portion is. It's going to be hard to tell if it's going to fully develop compared to this lighter portion. So we're going to have to really see tonight or later on into the incubation how well this is going to develop. Now here we have another Americana egg. As you guys can see, once again, the lighter portion is at the bottom. We have a lot darker areas up at the top, so there is a good chance we could have a lot of successful development, but we really won't know until the final stages of the incubation. So that's going to be it for our ultrasound. Until next time. Welcome back, guys. You guys remember when we did the last video, and we were, I think, on like day 10 or something like that, because we had did a little over a week. Now we're on day 3. We're going to do some more candling tonight, see how they're growing, but now we have to fill up both portions of the parts A and B to raise that humidity level up, since we're on day 3 now. So in 3 days exactly, we are going to be having hatched baby chicks, which is going to be really exciting to see, because we'll get to see them come out of the egg. Now, thankfully, well, not thankfully, with incubating the eggs, they don't just come on the exact number. Sometimes they end up coming us a little sooner, and then sometimes they come a lot sooner. And then sometimes they come a day later. But with this, there's no really way of telling exactly when one of the eggs are going to hatch. We are going to have to watch very closely now over the next couple of days. See how the eggs are doing. Seeing if we see any open spots where the eggs are trying to come out. Right now, I'm currently filling up the part B of the dehumidifier of the incubator, because this is where we got to fill up parts A and B. This is the portion of the incubation that requires a lot higher of a humidity level, which is a little bit different. I just dropped one of my Alexa devices on the ground. Thankfully, it's only a speaker portion. So we're just filling this part. We got the part A already partially filled. I'm just going to top it off. And we're getting parts B filled. Part B is going to be a lot bigger of an area to fill, as it's going to raise the humidity levels up. Now, with humidity levels, you're going to want them to be at a lot higher level than you were the last, we'll say, the 10 days. The 10 days, the last 2 weeks, as they now require a lot higher of a humidity level now that we're a lot further into the incubation. You guys seen in the previous videos before today how you can see the eggs, you can see the inside, and that's pretty much the ultrasound of the eggs, is getting a good point of how are the eggs growing. Is there any movement inside the eggs? There's all kinds of things that go into play when it comes to doing an ultrasound on your eggs and seeing how well the eggs are. You're looking for their veins, you're looking for any kind of movement, any sign that they're going to be okay when they hatch. Now, a lot of the times with eggs, you can incubate eggs and those eggs never hatch. The first time I ever incubated eggs, my dog, first time, are you done? So anywho, so sometimes with incubating eggs, it's a still live baby chick, which means it didn't fully develop and it died before birth, which sometimes we see in pregnancies. And if you don't move out of the camera, oh my gosh, we will go out later. Bro, relax. Take a volume. All right, go lay down. I can't with her. But it's not just sometimes. If she interrupts you one more time, I'm gonna beat her. Go lay your ass down. Relax. Take a chill pill. Don't be all extra right now. It's not the time for it. You hear me talking to you? Anywho, now that she's not acting the way she's been acting, but sometimes it happens. Once we get through the full incubation process, I'm going to take you through the eggs. We're going to take a look at each individual one, see what happened, see what went wrong with the incubation and why that egg didn't hatch. We're hoping for quite a few baby chicks to hatch out of the incubator. If you guys don't know, that your chickens lay less eggs over time. So the older they get, the less eggs they're going to lay. So after so many years, you got to get more chickens in because they're laying less eggs than they were before. So now we're going to go ahead and on day 3, get our ultrasound done for day 3, see how everything's going with it. We're going to do the full exploration of that tonight. So that's going to take place here in just a moment. And then on the final days, hopefully, we're going to see quite a few baby chicks hatch. Let's go ahead and get into this ultrasound.
5 hours later.
Alright, so I didn't get a chance to do the final ultrasound before the eggs hatched. So we kind of skipped that part. Things got a little chaotic around here when I went to do the ultrasound. But now we got the eggs hatching. So we're going to go ahead and take a look into these eggs and see what's hatching. So we already have one little guy or girl hatched. We're going to go ahead and see if any more are hatching, getting ready to hatch. Looks like there is a few. You're just going to look where the egg is starting to crack, like this one is doing here. So they're definitely starting to hatch, which is definitely a good sign. We're going to see if there's any more. There's another one. Yep, and this guy's just chilling here. He looks tired from trying to get out that egg, that poor thing. He is just so tired. So we're going to come back later and check on him again. So we are back to check on him again. This guy still is just wore out from trying to come out. This one looks like it's still trying to come out. A few of these are starting to look like they're hatching. As you can see, the cracks kind of near the bottom. That one is starting to hatch as well. Here we are with number 1, and we still have plenty more to go. So let's see who's next to come out their egg. So we're going to see, as you can see, we helped the eggs some come out. Hopefully they'll come out some more once they fully get out of there. Alright, and now we have baby chick number 2. Some of them still aren't totally out of their eggshell, so we'll be back momentarily to see who else. So we still have 2 eggs or baby chicks that have fully came out of the shell. Some of these guys are still trying to work their way out. We really won't know the full color of them until they're fully dry and we can really get to see the color of those feathers. But now we'll be back probably more than likely in the morning to see if any more hatched or if we need to help any more of these guys. Alright, so as you guys can see, the babies have hatched. We're going to go ahead and get them situated into the tote. So let's go ahead and pull them out of the incubator. So this is where we're going to be taking the lid off and transitioning them into their tote. Once their feathers are pretty good and dry, we're able to take them out of here. We just have to move the lid and then carefully take them out. I got to be careful on placing this lid so it doesn't fall. Along with, I got to make sure I put it somewhere where it won't hurt the baby chicks as well. So we're going to take them each out individually, one by one, and then after we get them in the tote, I'm going to look at these eggs to see if we need to do any adjustments with them, help them out any. But we're first going to get these little guys out since they are already dry and they are ready to go in the tote. As you guys can see, they are very fluffy. This is probably the best part of having chickens, is when they're first born and they're so cute and they're so fluffy. They still sometimes stay cute as they get older. Sometimes they become little turds when they get older. But only time will tell in that sense. And the last one, we're going to go ahead and get this little girl or guy into the tote. Now we're going to go ahead and, oh, wait a second, hold on, I see something here. Let's put this back up here. Alright, so some of these guys are still in their egg. I'm going to slowly and carefully take some of the eggshell off to kind of help them come out of their egg better. This sometimes does need to happen, and we'll go further into detail on why. But I really want to get these eggshells off to help these guys kind of get out of their egg, so that way they have a better chance of surviving as they're coming out of this egg. This is something you carefully want to do. You don't want to be too rough with them, as it's practically like a newborn baby. So we're just gently going to take him out, gently set him down. As you guys can see, he's starting to kind of come out there. Not fully. I'm just going to help him a little bit more here, kind of squish him about. And as you guys can see, he's just slowly falling out of there. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to be so careful, and it's not easy to do either, and it makes me so nervous when it comes to doing this, but it's something we definitely have to do to help them come out. Now, we're going to go ahead and check some of these others because they definitely do need some help. As you can see, he's got a little bit of a hole there, but we're going to help him out a little bit more. We don't want him to suffocate inside the egg, and then be stuck in that little sac that's inside the egg. So I'm just going to slowly, once again, just peel the eggshells off, kind of help them out, and see if they come out any further. That should be good there. Alright, that one's good. Okay, this one. And let's go ahead and help this guy a little bit out. And as you guys can see, the other one's starting to flop around and move around a little bit more. He's like, hey, I'm out here. I'm here in the world as much as I don't want to be here yet. Alright, this one, you just remember, just be careful. Be very careful with them, as they are like newborns, which they are newborns. Alright, there he goes. He's a little bit more out. We got a lot more of the shell off. You'll be able to see it here in just a second once I move my hand. There you go. Now, as you can see, we got a lot more of the egg out. I'm going to take this other egg out and put him there. We're going to put the lid back on so that way they can be nice and comfy in the incubator and finish coming out of their eggs. I'm going to make sure it's sealed all the way around.
So we're going to leave them be in there.
One of the eggs that have already hatched.
We do need to add some more water. And then these guys will be ready to go in the tote too. Alright, so we've added more water. These guys are going to stay in here a little bit longer. They're not ready to fully come out. This one, he needs to dry for the next couple of hours. It won't hurt them to be in here. This is where they're going to dry. This is where they're going to really warm up. And then they go into our little tote to stay for the next couple of weeks until they get bigger to go out to the transition pen. Alright, so here we are at the transition pen. I mean, not the transition pen, but the tote. These guys are going to do really well. We're going to get some water in here, and then I'm going to show you guys how we get them to go ahead and get drinks of water for the first time. Alright, so we got their water. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. We've already got the flakes in here for them. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is try and get them to drink water. So the first thing we do is I grab them. You're going to cuff them in your hand like this. Get their head right here to a hole like this. And then I'm just going to slightly put their beak into the water. so that way they can get a feel for it. Oh, I know. I just do it a couple of times, just so that way they can get accumulated and they know where the water is. Yeah, there you go. You're thirsty. And they'll go to drinking it once they get more familiar with it. I know, I know. Yeah, that was water. What do you think about it? You are mama. Look at that beard you have. Yeah. Look at that beard you have. Yeah. You have mama's beard. I have to go show daddy. So we got that one out. And then we do have these few that are still trying to come out of the egg. So we'll leave these guys in here. And this little guy will stay in here until he's fully dry. Little messy guy. Alright, so you guys seen, we got this all situated. We got some of the eggs. Now, as you guys can see, there is a few more than last time we checked in here. I had to go run some errands. Kids had some doctor's appointments, so we had to go do that. There was still a baby chick in the incubator still. But since they've already pretty much hatched, they just needed to dry. So I left them in there, let them sit. They needed to sit for, sometimes they say it's good to let them be in there for a good 24 hours so their feathers and all that fully dry. As you guys can see, some of these guys aren't totally dry. As it was time for them to come out, they looked like they desperately needed some water. So I went ahead and took them out and put them in here. And before I fully got them situated, I dip their beaks into the water so that way they know exactly how they'll need to go about getting their water. We did go ahead and get them food, so they do have some food in there. They've already been eating some. Looks like in total we are looking at, we still have 3 in the incubator that are still drying. Excuse you, that was rude. I'm sitting here in this chair. So we have 3 in there that are still drying. We are looking at a total, so we got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, we are looking at a total of 10 hatched eggs. So it looks pretty good. We did incubate a total of 22 eggs. So at least about half of the eggs did incubate and hatch. So we did have at least about half the eggs successful of a hatching. So that's the good news. Now it's just letting these final guys, and I'll bring you guys in close. We just gotta let these final guys get dried off. And then they'll be moving to the toad as well. As you guys can see, they're definitely active. They're still drying, but as you guys can see, they are still up and at 'em. This one over here, I had to help him out. He just was not coming out of the egg. Sometimes when it comes to hatching and incubating eggs, around the time they start to hatch and push themselves up out of the egg, you gotta be careful to watch. Sometimes they do need a little bit of help. Sometimes we'll start helping them create a breathing hole so that way they're able to breathe. After a good couple of hours, I would say that one was probably in its egg for over 8 hours and just was not able to get out. So I had to finally help them get out of the egg, crush the egg up a little bit. And you got to be careful when doing it because you can hurt them. I slowly peeled pieces off, and finally once I got a good bit of him or her out of the egg, that's when we were able to fully get him out, and now he's out drying. So, and it doesn't hurt him when you help him come out of that eggshell. It does more good than bad, really.
But this is going to be pretty much the whole process of incubating eggs. It's really simple. A 4-year-old probably could do it. Especially if you have an incubator like this where it shows you your temperatures, it automatically rotates the eggs, and you're able to really watch those humidity levels. This part is the easy part. Now it's just feeding, watering, changing the flakes out, and watching them grow. I would say within 2 months, they'll probably be ready to go into a transitional pen. Where they'll get ready to transition from that transition pen into our big coop, because the transition pen is for the period of time from them being teenagers to nearly adults. Once they're right there nearly at that adult stage, that's when we put them in the big pen with the rest of the chickens, to get familiar with the other chickens. We've done this process quite a bit. Once they move from that transitional pen into the big pen, it does take a little bit of time for the other chickens that are much older to get acquainted with the newer chickens. They'll bully them a little bit here and there, but as long as they're older, they should be good. And our other chickens shouldn't kill them. Chickens, bringing in new young chicks into a bigger flock of chickens can potentially end up those chickens dying, because those chickens know that those chicks are the weaker links, and anything that's weak and not strong enough to handle the environment that they're in, they'll kill them off. We've seen it happen. I've put baby chicks in with much older chicks, and they ended up killing them, picking them to death pretty much. Chickens can be very mean and aggressive, but it's something to watch for. We'll come back later once these guys get a little bit bigger, and we'll kind of look at the different things that you can look at to see if it's going to be a hen or a rooster. But that is going to be it, guys. Thank you for joining me on this adventure, and until next time, guys, deuces.